everyone, this is Jan from orJANics 50nRaw, and this is take 2 because once again I recorded a whole bunch of minutes without pushing the record button. Ah, so frustrating. Okay, start over. Okay, I am here today very excited to give you my recipe that I invented for corn chips. I have searched, as I've been following the raw food movement over probably the last 8 years, I tried several times to make a raw dehydrated cracker or chip that was salty and savory and crunchy that would satisfy me, and I never liked any of them. I spent tons of money and threw them in the trash because the flavor was so overpowering and undesirable. So I would just throw them in the trash and literally wasted a lot of money. So I came up with an idea a couple weeks ago that I would try and make a corn chip that was plain, that had no onions, no garlic, you know, nothing, no carrot seed or carrot pulp or anything in it. Just really to make something crunchy that could be used as a vessel to dip guacamole in and put in your mouth, and you could still taste the guacamole. It wasn't overpowered by the flavor of the cracker. And amazingly, I succeeded, and I'm so excited. As I was in the studio handling out samples of my crackers, somebody even said, or not crackers, chips, somebody said, wow, Jan, this is even better than regular corn chips. Now, that's kind of unbelievable, but the fact is that it's good. So I am going to show you how to do that, and I'm really excited. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe a lot. Leave me your feedback. Change it however you want. Before I do, I want to show you my hat. It says Canada, and that's because I'm Canadian. I moved to South Texas after graduating from nursing school. I became an RN in 1985. I moved to South Texas in 1986. I always had a very independent spirit. I wanted to travel, so I moved down here when I was 21, and my intentions were to stay for a year, but to the dismay of my parents, I am still here 30 years later. I got married, I had children, became a Christian, and just really have made my life here in South Texas. And I don't like the snow. It's awesome to visit, but I don't want to live in it, and so here I am in South Texas. And so let's get on with the video. You will need 2 packages of organic corn thawed. I'm going to show this to you. This is the HEB brand, which HEB is my local grocery store. Each package has 16 ounces of corn, so they are thawed. You will need the juice of 2 limes, okay? And I will juice those. You will need 1 cup of organic chia seed. Can you see that? You will need half a cup of ground organic flaxseed, and I get mine from Hallelujah Acres, of which I am a health minister for several years. You will need a teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and this is my beautiful Himalayan salt here. You'll need a teaspoon of that. And you will need a teaspoon of chili powder. And I don't have organic chili powder. The next time I buy it, I will buy organic, but right now this is the chili powder that I use. You will need your dehydrator sheet with the Teflon sheet, and underneath the fine mesh sheet. And you will need an offset spatula, which I just bought last week. Wonderful thing. I put off for a long time getting one of these because I really didn't think it was necessary, but wow, what a difference it makes spreading your crackers and getting them all thin. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. So, and you'll need your food processor. Okay, so I'm going to put my, if you don't have a food processor, you can use your blender. And you don't even have to have a high-speed blender. You can just use your regular old blender. If these chips, if the dough is a little bit coarse, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna spread them really thin on the dehydrator sheet, and so it'll be okay. So I have both bags in my food processor. And I'm gonna process that down, so hold on. I just wanna give it a little swirl because I do want it to be, I do want it to be as finely ground as I can make it. I want it to be doughy. I don't want to leave it coarse. I'm just going to keep stirring it into here. You know what a difference it makes in your raw food journey when you have a chip that you can eat. That's something that a lot of people say that they miss when they try and do a raw food diet, is they miss having a chip or a cracker, and it really does make such a difference when you can eat something like this. I mean, my husband goes to one of our favorite Mexican food restaurants, and I told him I really miss eating. They have a hot sauce there that I really like, and it is all raw, not organic, but all raw, and I told him I really miss eating that hot sauce. So he'll bring me home a little cup of it now that I can eat with my chips, and I can feel really satisfied. Okay, so this is pretty much all mush, okay? And to this, I'm going to add my teaspoon of salt. And if you don't want to use salt, you can leave it out. It's completely up to you. Oh, actually, yeah, a teaspoon of salt. Okay. I'm going to put in my teaspoon of chili powder, and if you wanted to, you could actually just leave that out as well if you wanted to. I'm going to put in the juice of two limes and my handy dandy squeezer, which I use. If you don't have one of these, I couldn't imagine a house without one of these, but if you don't have one, they're great. Limes make everything taste better. That's just what I have found. You know, I thought of adding turmeric to this recipe, well, because turmeric is such a great anti-inflammatory, but it also has that nice yellow color. And I might do that another time, but I haven't experimented with that, so I didn't want to do that in this video. So I'm going to add 1 cup, oops, I'm using my half cup here. Here's 1 cup of chia seed. And my half a cup of my flaxseed. This flaxseed is really a nice flaxseed. It's stable. You sometimes have to be careful with flaxseed that if you're getting it at less superior brand, it could go rancid easily. Flaxseed is not as stable as chia seed, so I always keep mine in the refrigerator. Okay, so I have a level half cup, oops. And I'm just gonna mix this all together. Now this does turn out to be a very thick dough. I'm just gonna let that pulse away. Now you are going to have to stop and give it a stir because it is really thick. And you could make half a batch of this as well. You don't have to make, this actually will make like probably 5 dehydrator sheets is what I got out of it last time. So it does make a lot of chips. Oh, there, it's really mixing together well now. There's a place we go in San Antonio, a Mexican food place called Papacitos. My husband loves to go to Papacitos whenever we're in San Antonio because that's the closest one to where we live. And on their corn chips, they sprinkle like a chili powder. So that's what we're going to do with these ones as well. I'm just going to have to keep stirring until I get the chia seed evenly distributed. Nice, kind of like a dough ball. Okay, I think that's going to be pretty good. One more time, I think I'm going to process it. The other thing that I like about this is you don't have to use it all at once. The last time I made it, I used half of it and made half of the crackers, and then I put the rest in the refrigerator, and then about 4 days later I made the other half because, you know, the crackers, if you have to put them in an airtight bag afterwards, or they will, it's so humid down here, they will absorb the moisture from the air and they'll become not as crisp any longer. So okay, I have this. I'm gonna take this off here and show it to you. Hope you can see that. So it's really, really thick. So once again, remember you can make this in a blender. It just kind of depends on you. So what I did is I measured out, because I thought, okay, I want to know how much to put on each dehydrator sheet, so I have the same thickness for all of my crackers.
Are you going to see the...
I'm videoing,
sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
So I have a cup here of the dough from the crackers. So I'm going to put it on my Teflex. You don't need to put any spray or anything on here because it's Teflex, it'll peel right off. I'm going to use my offset spatula, and I'm just going to start spreading it. And you do have to kind of like hold your sheet down because it's really thick. Now this does take a little bit of work to get these evenly spread. So I'm going to spread this out, and once I have it spread, I'll come back with you. Okay, so I have it all spread out on the on the Teflex sheet, and it fit perfect, and it's very thin. Took me a couple minutes to, you kind of have to work at it. And then get the edges so they're nice and clean. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to sprinkle it with some Himalayan salt because, Himalayan salt, I mean, what am I trying to say? The corn chips, they're kind of salty, and so you can sprinkle them or not, whatever you want to do. And then you could stop here, and then we're going to score them. But for my taste buds, I like the chili powder on the corn chips. And So I'm just gonna sprinkle some chili powder on here. And then maybe I'll just give it like a swipe over with the spatula to kind of like push it into the dough. There we go. You know, we all have different taste bud profiles. I live in an area where we have spicy Mexican food. So I like spicy food, and you know, this is just something I'm accustomed to. So, you know, I might think, and I do think this is the best corn chip, raw corn chip, and think it's amazing, and you might not even like it because you have a different taste profile than I do. So make it your own. But this is how you score it. So I start and I go corner to corner, and this is gonna make 32 chips, okay? And then I go middle to middle. So right now I have 4 big pieces on each side. Now I'm going to go corner to corner again. So now I have four chips on each side. And I've tried making them this big, but it's still a little bit too big. So then you're gonna go middle to middle, middle to middle, and then all the way down the middle here, and across. So now you have 8 chips here, 8 here, 8 here, 8 here. So you have 32 corn chips. So this is ready to go in the dehydrator. It's gonna go in at 105, between 105 and 110. So it's not gonna kill any enzymes. It's gonna go in there for a couple hours. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel off the Teflex. Well, I'll show you. We're gonna flip them over and peel off the Teflex so they can get nice and crispy throughout. So we'll see you at the next step. Hello guys. Okay, the chips have been in the dehydrator for 12 hours and they're looking pretty good, but they're not very crispy yet. So I need to get them off of this Teflex sheet so that the air can circulate more around them. And you actually don't have to wait 12 hours to do this. I could have done this at probably 3 or 4 hours, but it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. So what I have is I have another one of these plastic mesh sheets, and then I have another, well, I don't know what they're called. Put them together and put them upside down on top of the chips like that. All you do is you flip them. And then you take off the top part. And there the chips are upside down. They're on the mesh sheet and they're gonna go back in the dehydrator. So I'm gonna do that to all 5 trays that I have, and they'll probably be done by tonight. So we'll look at them again later. Go. Hey guys, so my chips are done. I have 5 sheets like this with 32 chips on each. So 32 times 5, 160 chips that I have. So I'm going to put them in Ziploc bags. I'm going to put them in the freezer Ziploc bags to really kind of keep the humidity out. It's really important to spread your crackers really thin. Now listen to this. They're really snappy, they're really crunchy and crispy. So these are perfect for me. So these have been dehydrating 24 hours in my laundry room at 105 in my Excalibur dehydrator. To me, these are perfect. So if you make these, let me know. I'd be curious to see how you like them. You may want to leave out the chili powder. I did put a lot of chili powder on these chips. You may not want to put that much on. You can see I put a lot of chili powder. And these are just done so perfectly. Look at that.
Nice and crunchy.
They are crunchy. So I have a couple avocados on the counter over there that tomorrow I'm going to make guacamole with tomatoes and onion and can't wait. Good night, you guys. Bye.